have there been instances where you've met people that you maybe grew up listening to?
Yeah, well, I mean, for whatever reason, it's who was it? Someone said the other day something about, I mean, the world, for me, it's just the older I get, the smaller the world gets. And maybe it's because I've been keeping up and just, instead of dropping out of the music scene and, I don't have any children, I'm still doing it. And so the older that I get, the more experienced people that I meet and cross paths with, and it becomes less and less of a big deal, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes it's a bit astounding who one can run into. But I mean, for example, just having Spencer P. Jones play with me this Sunday it's a tremendous honor. And yet, we've been hanging out for the past week, and I don't look at him as, the fella that he is from the B Suburban and everything that he's done. I don't look at what he's done. I'm looking at who he is and what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he's great fun, and he's extremely talented and very funny. He's had me fucking pissing my pants since I got here. So that's great, and I've been meeting a lot of people that, people that have inspired me, and I did support for Roland S. Howard last year, and so I've run into him and a few times, and it's great to see him come out with a new record, and that's what's really special as well, is that to work within. I feel I'm like the new kid on the block, and I don't mean that horrible fucking band from.
That's just done another world tour.
America?
They must have needed more money for drugs. Because,
But it's just, it all in small increments. And suddenly I'm here again and doing this tour and playing with people who I may have met on MySpace. I may have seen them play a gig 10 years ago, and then we're on the same stage, and, But they're people who take what they do very seriously. They're real artists. And I really enjoy that. I love working with people who I also respect. I don't want to work with people. It's just not interesting to work with people who are just in it for the money or in it for their own egotistical reasons. But, to work with people who actually, they love what they do. It doesn't matter how much or how little money they're making. And most of them are not making that much money. Most of them should be making a lot more money.
How much weight does this Australian music industry have for a person like yourself, an artist like yourself, who's grown up cutting their teeth in New York, who's done the European scene? You said you said it's very exciting to be here. How much weight does coming over here and performing as an artist hold in a European or US country? Yeah.
I think stateside it's a bit difficult to say because America's a very strange place.
It's very conservative, from what I found.
It's become a lot more conservative after the events of 2001, that big event. Americans are still listening to the same things on the radio that they were listening to 25 years ago. I'm astounded when I go there and I turn on the radio, and they're still playing Freeze Frame by the Jay Giles Band, or they're still playing Rush, or whatever. I've never liked it. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. Unfortunately, I've heard the songs. I know them because that's how it is. The things that I listen to, a lot of the Australian bands that were based out of Berlin and London in the 80s and into the 90s. Again, like I said, sort of a bridge for me that led me here to Australia and to meeting the musicians here. That kind of music is not really well known. Everyone in the world knows who Nick Cave is, and if they don't, well, then they don't really care about music.
They listen to Top 40.
Yeah, which means they don't really care about music. So if you listen to Top 40, you don't really care about music. I don't care if you buy every single
Yeah.
MP3 single that you can download from iTunes. You know, the thing about that sets a lot of, I think, Australian musicians and also Europeans. I mean, of course, there's some great American bands. You've got Woven Hand, David Eugene Edwards, his former band being 16 Horsepower, completely unknown in the U.S. I mean, I went to see them at the Bowery Ballroom in Manhattan in 2000 or 2001, and it wasn't even half sold out. I mean, it was half empty. And it was embarrassing after seeing them play packed houses in Scandinavia.
Yeah.
You know, and so, I mean, the good news is, for all of you Australian bands out there, is you should focus a bit more in Europe because the distance is a lot less to travel from country to country and from city to city. In general, people are more enthusiastic and they'll more inclined to buy the music. I'm not saying that all of America's like this. It isn't, but America is, it's enormous. It's like Australia in its size, and it's got its extremes, but even more extreme. And you know, you've got New York and you've got the different enclaves there, but New York's a tough town. I don't know that much about the rest of the U.S. except that I've heard stories. I've never toured there. It just doesn't seem worth it because I hear people, they get in the van, they drive 300 miles, they show up at a venue, the guy at the door says, I don't even know who you are, you're not listed billed to play here tonight, so they got to drive another 500 miles in another direction to get to a gig the next night where, you know, 5 people show up. It's hard. It's really fucking hard. Can I curse?
You can do whatever you want.
Oh, that's right.
You don't have to hide that scotch either.
No, I'm not hiding it. I'm trying to hide it from myself.